All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hi, everyone. Emoto here at Midwest Gaming Classic. Oh, who was that behind waving? Oh, that's not. I was like, where did it go? We are at the homebrew section. It's right in front of me, right next to our Marco Stern Kingpin booth. And we're just going to go around and check out all the games that were brought this year. Thank you to the homebrew community for coming together yet again to showcase your beautiful pieces of art to us. So first up is going to be Matt Benzik with Motor City Taxi. We did a pretty in-depth interview with him last year at Midwest Gaming Classic, which you can check out on our YouTube page /Marco Pinball, and just look for the homebrew pinball X-ray version for that. This is officially homebrew live. Crystal's usually here with me, but she's taken some time to enjoy the actual event. Something that we enjoy the event when we work it, but we don't get to see all the little bits and pieces. So she's out exploring the awesome Midwest Gaming Classic, and we're gonna have Natalie No-Nos do the interviewing. I'm gonna stay behind here, and we're gonna get to it. I'll show you guys a little sneak peek of where we're going. You can see our booth is all the way over there. Oh, Andrew Barney, hello, welcome. You're somewhere here too. Thank you for all your help. Are you sure that's me, Emoto? Oh, dang. Here we go. Insanity Falls, our favorite troller. He comes with all the jokes. Altered V Seats, what's up? We are in Milwaukee, about to do some homebrew interviews. Let's see what time it is. It's 12:23 here. It's about time to go. All right, I'm going to get them set up, and we're going to do this. Oh, and if you guys get lucky, you might over there see Antar, the most amazing pitbull walking around. Pinball pitbull. It's a good thing. All right, y'all. Matt is doing something with this game. Benzik Designs. I'm gonna walk away, and I'm gonna get them all set up, and we're gonna go from there. Boy, you need to pull up your pants. Okay, y'all. While Benzik sets up his game, he's doing some stuff. We're going to go see Ryan McQuaid and Sonic Spinball. Yes, it's here. And so bear with me while we move some cameras and stuff around. What's up, Lead Sandman? Sonic hype. Yeah, you guys ready for some more Sonic hype? Also, another thing we did on Homebrew Live with Crystal last week. You can check out the archives on our YouTube. We did a super in-depth interview with Ryan. He had his OBS set up, so he had the playfield camera. We went through like all the different modes. We saw one of his super secret wizard modes that he was working on for MGC launch. So if you want to see even more Sonic, then check out that video. Yeah, you do. Sonic Spinball's awesome. I gotta rotate because he's not ready. Right. Let's see if I can slide. I'm gonna slide, Jordan.
You want help moving stuff?
I'm just gonna slide.
All right.
To you, I think.
Yes, so I actually started with this it's most of the that are virtual channels are running so I actually
That was a lot smoother than I thought it would be. We literally just slid everything while still connected to power. I'm trying to figure out how to do decent quality production completely wirelessly. Seems like it should be pretty easy, right? Not for me. Alright, there's Sonic. Alright, I'm gonna wrangle some cables and we should be good to go. Little behind the scenes for all. Look at Ryan wearing his American Pinball shirt. The guy that waved was really short. Was that me? Look, there's Crystal with her cool NASA jacket. And there's Raiden.
Came from space. Oh, wow.
He's ready for some Sonic Spinball. All right, we're going to cut over to them right now.
basically just
Oh yeah, here we go.
some of those same questions that you enjoyed the answer to.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you about your 3D printing, though, because I noticed the aesthetics of your... Tell me when. Hi, I'm Natalie here at Margot TV. We're looking at the Homebrew pinball section, and right here we have this gentleman, Ryan, and he has worked on this Sonic the Hedgehog pinball machine, Homebrew himself. Can you tell us a little bit about this pin?
So This pin started as kind of a bunch of hypothetical conversations I had with a bunch of my friends. It was always kind of like, oh, I've been a Sonic super fan my whole life, ever since I was little. My big brother handed me a controller and like helped me play, and then I just wouldn't stop. So it always drove me nuts that Sega never made their own Sonic pinball machine. They made, what, 18 games, I think, including Baywatch and South Park, but we never got Sonic. So I would always just think like, oh, what would I do with it, all this other stuff, it's a shame. And my friends started being like, guys, you gotta make this thing or stop talking to us about it, because like you're getting to be a little repetitive. And so I ended up finding the program Visual Pinball 10 VPX, which I think we were just talking about off camera a little bit. And I started messing around with that. I built this little game called Cosmic Lady, which is up for download if you ever want to see like what it's like to try to learn how to use something. And then I started building Sonic during the lockdown because I really didn't have a lot else to do. So it was a great starting point, and yeah, it was awesome.
Was this your first pin you've ever programmed
Yes.
or worked on a project like this?
I 100% learned while I was building this. I didn't know, I'd never built a game before. My background is in pinball restorations, so I've done a whole lot of different restorations, and right before this, I finished up a Twilight Zone that was so destroyed and so many parts were missing that I felt like I was designing a game from scratch. And so by the time I was done, I was like, you know what? I basically did just build a game from scratch, except I had to do exactly what the manual told me. How hard could it be to do it all by myself with whatever I want? So that's a lot of those skills were able to transfer over, and that's why I was able to make my own playfield, and just I knew where to put everything, and I knew how to use a lot of the tools already. But I had never programmed a game before. I never designed a game before. I never welded before, so I had to learn a whole bunch of different skills, but I just kind of did it as they came up.
And how many shows have you brought this table to?
Okay, so it's still a very short resume for how many shows the game has been to. It's been on public playtesting at the Double Bull in Massachusetts twice. They're one of my local bars that I know the owners of, so they were kind enough to let me get some playtesting in there. We brought it to Pinball Expo last year. It was also at Virtual Pinball Expo before we could get back to normal and be, lucky enough to be standing here. And then I also brought it to Pintastic in 2021.
Okay.
So, and this is the first show of this year.
Very good. And which have you learned anything from the shows you've been going to since you started taking this pin to?
I learned to be superstitious. I learned that if you have to beg the game to behave, and if you treat it right and you wear your underwear backwards or whatever you like to do, you just pray the game keeps working and doesn't make somebody have a bad time. That's really what I'm most afraid of. I don't care if my game breaks, I can fix anything. I'm worried that it'll break while someone's playing and while someone's trying to have a good time, and it'll just ruin that. So that's what I don't ever want to happen.
Okay. And since you started doing this, what issues have you had and how have you adjusted them? Have you had, I mean, I'm sure you had a testing
Oh
point.
yeah, we have a whole lot of different things. So stock balls, obviously. You can never find all of your stock balls, but Raiden could find some stock balls that you didn't know about, guarantee you. If I let him play for another 20 minutes, he will find a stock ball I didn't know about. So you just have to be kind of you can predict some of them, but then people can get balls stuck in the craziest places. In addition, we have the occasional hardware failure, so you want to learn from those mistakes and redesign your game so that it's a little more robust. So I lose a lot of light boards. It turns out that was because of overheating, so I've added a bunch of fans and I've changed my light board setup a little bit. Also, the entire game would crash occasionally because I'm using a Windows PC to run it, because they say to develop on what you're comfortable with.
Sure.
So eventually it'll get moved to something more stable, but I had a graphics card in it, and when you shook the game, the graphics card does this. And computers don't like it when you rip the graphics card out in the middle of using it, turns out. So I redesigned the entire computer to use an AMD APU, and so it has no cards at all, so it's now very, very stable. We were talking about this actually earlier, when I finished setting a game up at one of the first shows I brought it to, I used to say, all right, everybody stand back for a second, and they were like, what, why? And I was like, because this is why, and I would kick my game as hard as I could. because it needed to be able to survive a shock like that without crashing the computer. And if it did, then I knew I was good for the whole show. If it crashed, that means I needed to do some adjustments.
Okay.
People thought I had anger management issues, but it was really just testing.
It was quality
Now
analysis.
I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that problem anymore because I've adjusted from it.
Okay, did you have to adjust your code or anything different, like to go from the Windows to the AMD? Is that what you
no,
said?
so that was just a different Windows PC. It just doesn't have any cards. But I work on my code constantly. I was working on it at 9 p.m. the night on Thursday night. I worked on it last night to patch a couple of small issues I found during the game. I'm always writing down any issue I find while a player's playing, while I'm playing. Like, okay, that light's staying on when it shouldn't. Write it down. In my hotel room, I'm fixing it in the code, and then all my code is on Dropbox. So all I need to do is connect it to the internet and immediately download some new code.
And you have a backup.
Yep. And I have an off-site backup on their servers, and I have it on all my computers. So I was also able to reset the high scores by just deleting everything from my computer in my hotel room.
Okay.
So like it's a good setup. But yes, I'm constantly adjusting the code.
Okay. Wow. That's really cool. I like that you take the notes. I hope your code has just as many
notes.
And I hope you comment your code too, because we all know the importance of putting comments in our code.
I'm not good at that. I am not good at that. I really want to be better, but I'm not. I'm terrible at commenting my code.
Fair. Not all of us can win them all, but now I know you can't really see the table up close, but I do have to comment on the design. The design of this is beautiful. I can tell some of this is 3D printed.
A lot of it is 3D printed.
Now, did you 3D print these pieces yourself?
Yes, I did. So I actually have a background in 3D printing. I've been doing it for years, since before you were able to even buy them. I had a friend of mine who was an enthusiast. He built his own from his own design, and he kind of I got bit with the bug. So I ended up buying my own and building my own from scratch. And so I've been printing for years and years and years. And I've adopted an old saying, which is when you have a hammer, anything is a nail. So if a problem can be solved with 3D printing, I do, because I know how to do that.
Right.
So there's a lot of guys out there, they know how to weld, so anything they need to do, they weld it, because that's what they know how to do. So I know how to 3D print, so I have 3D printed ramps, I have 3D printed plastics. I was using 3D printed clips to hold the loop and the wire forms together for a long time before I learned how to weld. I did eventually learn how to weld.
Sure.
And there's still a lot of 3D printed parts in there to this day. And now that I'm over at American Pinball, I can tell you it's the exact same in the professional world. We have a printer farm of I think 7 Prusa i3 printers and 2 really expensive brand new ones that I'm now in charge of. But we are, as a company, we are 3D printing all our prototypes. We're 3D printing all the ramps for the prototypes, and we obviously, once it's done, we get them properly vacuum formed or whatever. But the printers are running 24/7.
Wow, that's really cool. It's very interesting how all of it has come together. It's a very beautiful design. If anybody gets a chance to look at this, you really should pay attention to the detail on it. It's gorgeous. I haven't even asked you about any of the table shots. Is there a skill shot on this thing?
There are a couple skill shots. Those are actually a little bit of guilt for me. I've been meaning to overhaul the skill shots for a long time. I'm not a huge skill shot guy. I don't really care that much about them. People love skill shots. I just don't. So there's 2. We have a T2 style roving shot on the Sonic targets, and then the super skill shot. If you plunge all the way around the orbit and then hit the ramp on your first try, you get a super skill shot.
Okay.
That's actually easier than the regular skill shot though, so the whole thing needs to be redone. Yeah,
hey,
I've scored number 6.
That is great.
We got a player here. Thanks, Raiden.
Once he's done, you guys can go over.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool.
You want to play?
I got a question.
Sure.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, Joe. We're gonna move closer to the game right now. Ryan's fan club is asking him some questions. So I'm gonna move the camera and we're gonna do this. So hold on one second.
it, or you want to do that separately, or what? How do you want to do it? Yeah, that's all. Here, it's all here.
Okay.
And then we have a player one.
Via keyboard. That's really nifty. That's nice that you don't have to open it.
I might be able to play the game from this keyboard right now.
That's right. You have the Sega Mod controller too. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that's
in
me.
action.
We're playing split flipper right now. I'm the left flipper.
You guys are playing split flipper? That's great.
You don't actually have to do that. I failed. I failed you. So normally, I'm going to set this up later. You can play this game with a Sega Genesis controller, and I have it with me. I just haven't set it up right now.
Awesome.
No. I wanted to remember if this actually worked. That's all. I'm like, oh yeah, it does work. Cool. Now I'm done. Yeah, there. I don't even have it anymore. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I love this little flipper feature. There's like the little Sonic head with the spinner. That's an iconic design. I think we talked about this yesterday. That was a later add-on you put to the table, right?
That was one of the last things I actually built, but it was always in the initial design from the very beginning. Like, oh, I'm just going to put a 2-frame animation on a spinner and just put his little head floating there so that from the player's perspective it looks like he's running. And I didn't think it was going to work that well. I didn't think it was going to get the reception that it got. It got a very large reception, more so than a lot of the other features that I spent a lot more time on. It's really just a piece of plastic with a sticker. Like it's not a difficult or like a complex little bit, but everyone thought it was such a cute little addition that they really liked it.
Yeah, adding like the perfect bow to a present.
Yeah,
that's
that was exactly it. And it was I finished it right before. That was a great spin on it, by the way. You got a good shot of it. So I added it right before the shows, and it really just made the whole thing pop for everybody. Got our little flicky bird. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so the topper I also like to comment on being like, one, I love that you have a topper on your table.
Toppers are fun.
Yes.
I make toppers. So I actually, this is not the first topper I made. I made a working roller coaster for Roller Coaster Tycoon by Stern in 2002 or whatever.
Really?
I debuted it Fantastic 2019. That was the first thing that everyone was like, whoa, look what he can do. And then I brought 3 of my restoration games and I won Best in Show all 3 times. So it was cool because I like making it interact with the game. So whenever you hit the yellow roller coaster on Roller Coaster Tycoon, my roller coaster would go off.
That's very cool.
And it was timed so that you had enough time to watch it and not lose your ball.
I love that thought process too. You're thinking for the player because you're like, why would you not want to see
I made
this?
sure that the roller coaster took 7 seconds because I knew it took you 11 seconds to get your ball back from that shot. Because it's a long shot. It goes up a Vuk and then down 2 ramps before it gets to you. So I always knew I was going to make a topper for it. And for this one, I just wanted it to be more of a progress tracker.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get the Chaos Emeralds, and so it's linked to all the ones on the playfield.
So
right now,
Chaos Emeralds you have will light up.
So it's very bright in here.
Yeah.
But right now the green Chaos Emerald is blinking because that is the mode that she is currently on. Any of the Chaos Emeralds she's already collected will be solid on.
That's so cool. How many toppers are interactive with the game?
There are a few of them. There are a few
Okay.
of them, but not as many as there should be, in my opinion.
Okay.
I hope to change that. I'm going to keep designing toppers, I hope.
I think that's really cool.
I have some
like
pitches for my new company. We'll see if we can get something fun out.
Cool. That's
I don't
awesome.
make boring light up toppers. I make fun toppers that do something.
I love
Lights,
that.
all you need to be interactive is some lights. There's no moving parts on this.
Right.
It has its own GI, and it has a bulb for every emerald. So right now, all the GI bulbs are green to match the mode you're in.
Wow.
And if you change to the red, the fire zone, the GI turns red up here too. So
Okay.
it's just a little bit of interaction is all you really need to make it interesting.
That's very cool. So where did you get now I'm seeing the flippers on this table and it looks like they have Sonic the Hedgehog on them.
They do.
Now, where did you get those from?
So those are from Pinball Life. You can still buy them. They are new old stock Sega flippers. When they're gone, they're gone. I bought several backups.
Very good.
But
Good
for
call.
whatever reason, you can just buy those at Pinball Life for $5.
Wow, so it's so crazy that they made like Sonic flippers but never
Sonic flippers, Sonic coil wrappers. He's on the DMD for Baywatch and a whole of their other
Yes,
games.
I have noticed that. He
Yep.
runs across the screen
He does.
randomly. Yeah.
He does. But they just didn't give him his own game for whatever reason. Not sure why. I think it might have been a licensing issue. All right, we got a multi-ball.
Okay, so multi-ball looks like you hit those drop targets down, and these are really cool graphics. So I know you have some of like the Sega-looking style with the like on the screen, the graphics, but and also when you had like multi-ball that's qualified, you've got your own stuff too. How did you design that, or what?
So the movie clips are taken from a series that Sega did called Sonic
cute,
Mania
yeah.
Adventures.
Okay.
And they did it as a promo for the game Sonic Mania that came out in 2017.
Okay.
And so they just had an artist make these classic, no dialogue, just all story told with gestures and sound effects and everything. And it was perfect to chop up for movies for this. All of these are original game assets, but I did all the animations and I tell everything where to go. I designed the HUD and everything like that. And in some of the later levels, it gets really impressive with it. And I spent a lot more time on the graphics and the art than I really should have, because players don't really look at it.
It's well worth it though, because if you're doing a multiplayer game or a match play, that's when you get your screen time. It's really watching other people play
that's
too.
true.
And so I love watching people play. When we were standing here, I was watching that. I kept turning around looking at the screen because the designs, the graphics are really cool, and I haven't seen it all yet. You just want to take it all in. So it's a really awesome design. The table looks really nice. Like everything about it is just so well designed. I haven't even looked at all of this. And where did you come up with some of the drawings for this?
So,
any of the etching?
The drawings were done by an artist named Amber Cyprin. They did an incredible job on them. I sent them a message when I was ready to build my second Whitewood, and I said, basically, here are some MS Paint drawings I did.
Yeah, okay.
Those still survive, and they're hilarious. Can you do me some napkin doodles so I can just throw the concept art on the new playfield?
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, I can do that. And then they spent 11 hours on them.
Okay.
They looked up the original Sonic the Hedgehog concept art, which, if you find it for the original Genesis games, it just so happens to be Sonic in a lot of really uncomfortable and upsetting
I
situations.
see this. Yes.
I mean, occasionally he's having a good time.
Yeah.
For most time he's drowning, about to die over here. Up here you have one no one ever sees, which is Bonk Sonic. He's getting just
Oh
head,
yeah, I love that.
head
Yes.
bonking off stuff. And so we decided to go that route with it. And then the goal was, all right, we're going to do a 90s style playfield, which
Yep.
is a whole bunch of different pieces of art tied together with a background. That's really all they used to do. So we're like, all right, we have the fight scene up here, we have a loop, we have the centerpiece, we have this little whatever's going to be down here. So now we can take each one of those individual pieces of art and turn them into a full color, fully rendered thing like you see in the center here.
Yes,
So this actually used to look just like all of these on the first version.
Okay.
And for the second one, we actually decided to sit down and finish the full color centerpiece.
Okay.
So all of these will eventually look like this.
Oh, okay, so.
So we'll have a fully colored, fully rendered version of him fighting Robotnik up here, of him on a loop over here,
Okay.
maybe a zip line.
And now, are these finished in these outer lanes right
No,
here with
those
the
are
color?
not finished, but we chose to color them to help teach the player what's going on.
I love that. That's
So-
really smart.
So the right out lane is the water out lane. That's where you're going to drown. So the water shield protects you from it.
Okay.
Same with the fire shield. So I put color in some areas where I thought it was important,
You
even
put
on the
color where it
whitewood.
counts.
Yeah. So the emeralds are colored because they're all the modes are color coded. So you need to know which one is which.
That's
And honestly, the emerald sketch came out so good that it's just going to be my final. I love that piece.
I do
So-
too, and it really stands out on the table too when you look at it. This table has such a beautiful design. Honestly, I love it. It's so clean. It's so pretty. You're welcome. Like
Appreciate
it is just really nice to look at. So I really do enjoy it. And this little TV. I think you 3D printed that
Yeah.
by the looks of it. And what's in there? What screen? What is that?
So that is a mini HDMI screen that I found on after a lot of research. I tried to find a smaller like TFT screen that would work with a Raspberry Pi or something. I'm not very good with Raspberry Pis, so it didn't end up succeeding. But I found this little 4.5-inch HDMI screen, and so this is just plugged straight into Windows as a monitor, and Windows thinks it's right here.
Wow.
And so the game is actually only rendering one window, but that window is this large, and all the mini graphics are right here. And it just works so well.
Wow.
So the original plan was for that to be over here, closer to the mystery scoop, which is where you're
Yeah.
collecting all of these items.
Yeah.
But it just didn't look good, and the viewing angle wasn't there. So putting it down there, it lets you see some information without looking all the way away from the playfield.
Right.
Sometimes you're shooting at these shots anyway, so you can see the little bits. It'll flash to whatever you collected for a mystery award. So if you're in the middle of a multi-ball and everything's going crazy, you can take one look up. Oh, I got invincibility. Like, even though the screen didn't show it to you, because you can see it there. Or when nothing else is lit or nothing's going on, it's kind of like a status screen. It'll show you this many locks, this many to light locks, like this many loop awards.
Oh,
this
your
is your next
status
loop award.
report, yeah.
I haven't programmed to hold the flipper one yet, but all that information's on the mini LCD as well.
Oh, well, and that's perfect though too. Yeah.
And so when I have countdown timers, that's another big one. You can just stick a big number right there. Like, you don't have to look up. You don't have to be a 5, like 10, 9, 8, whatever. It's right there in big font.
Yep.
And so it's just, especially for the drowning timer, I actually need to code that, but I haven't yet. And then Knuckles just flying over. That's a Hallmark toy.
Yeah.
They just released that limited edition. If you look really closely, he only has 1 foot because a pinball knocked it off.
Huh.
But that's a prototype for you.
Yeah. Battle scars, if you will.
Battle scars. Well, also his legs are tiny. I don't really know how they lasted that long.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So, but it keeps that corner looking not bare. I really like where it's at. The whole game is like the toys are well distributed, so nothing really looks barren.
You're right, and it's not too much either. It's not overdone. Yeah. Oh, you got to get this little like the hamster rant. The
hamster loop. Ooh, that's a good one.
So
the hamster ball. Not to be confused with the legitimately awesome hamster ball or hamster wheel on Weird Al.
Oh yeah. You know what? Fair
we
call.
have the loop-de-loop, which is a classic Sonic trope that had to be in there. Currently, you're shooting it by hitting a kicker that is right in here. It's very reminiscent of the catapult from Medieval Madness. But in the next version, which I already have planned out, you're going to be shooting it directly. There's a spoiler for you.
Wow. Okay, so how did you get this design right the first time? And like now that
Believe
I'm
it or not,
hearing
yes.
Your roller coaster. But see, was there any influence from the roller coaster
A little bit.
thing you were talking about earlier?
Not as much as there should have been.
Okay.
So roller coaster loops are actually not a circle. They are a strange little balloon-shaped ellipses, and that is very important to making them function smoothly and
okay.
It doesn't look like it because of the way it's designed. So it starts off at a lower level than it ends because you need to be able to have it come off this wall, and it needs to be such that if I placed a pinball right here, it wouldn't get stuck. So it has to be going like an extreme angle when it's releasing. So if I released it like this, the table would then be slanted. So now if a ball is coming here, it's just going to sit there.
Right.
So we have to have an extreme angle so it can still roll off even against the weight of the playfield. So what this actually is an ellipse, but because it kind of is hidden from this angle, it looks like a circle like from the game.
Sure.
So there was a lot of thought put into that, and I got extremely lucky that I didn't screw it up because it was a lot of work.
That's amazing. I really like that design. But when you're explaining the ellipse, it makes sense because the ball moves in a parabola, right? So
Yes.
I mean, I understand why, like from the physics standpoint of it needing to go down, but like I just love it. It's just really cool. It just kind of makes me think like how much there is to pinball. This is great.
This
is a perfect example of that.
It's definitely a lot more than you should have a loop.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right, now I need to do a week's worth of research into roller coasters and real life loops.
Yeah.
I can't just make a circle and call it done like they do in the games.
Right.
And it's the same thing with everything in pinball. Like you got a great design idea, now you need to spend 2 weeks making it actually work reliably.
Yeah.
So Oh, we're gonna have some great shots. Moto's an excellent photographer.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Just the detail on this is just amazing. And I love even the top. It kind of looks like a reflector, but it's not. You didn't 3D print that, did you?
Yeah, those are 3D printed.
Those are 3D printed.
So actually, the diffusion is really just 3D printer lines. I just didn't make any attempt to hide them, and so I printed this out of a clear PETG material, and the natural waves that the printer makes for FDM printing just lets it diffuse properly. So that was all done intentionally.
It looks great. You really did a lot of this is 3D printed. It's impressive. It's amazing.
I mean, obviously we'll eventually replace all of these with art and with proper PETG plastics like you classically would.
Yeah.
I get a lot of people asking me the question, like, is this art final? Like we said, we went over it. It's all concept art. It is still a Whitewood prototype, but I just happen to think that Whitewood should have prototype art. You're prototyping the whole game. Why wouldn't you prototype the art? So
it makes sense.
I mean, your artists might get a little mad at you because they want the right shaped canvas from the beginning, and that's normally why we do art last. It's like, okay, the playfield's not going to change, so you won't have to move the art and everything.
Sure.
But we don't have a background, so it doesn't really matter. Like I got the art from my artist, and I placed it on the playfield wherever it fit for me. And then once it's done, we're like, all right, we like it here. I've moved a lot of the art from one version to another. Like, it's all just coming together to make a better product.
Yep.
And it gives it like a little bit of character.
It sure
a blank flat piece of wood may look cool to people who think that's awesome, but it's just not quite as charming as all these little pieces. So I would not be here. I would not be nearly. This game wouldn't be nearly as possible if it weren't for my artists' work. And they are not they don't do it full time. It was just they made time out of their schedule to do it for me. So shout outs to Amber Cyprin again.
That's
You are
awesome.
wonderful, and your work is amazing.
This is beautiful. So, how many more designs do you think you're gonna have? I mean,
for this one?
Yeah.
At least one,
Okay.
probably two.
And will you have both versions to shows, or just like once you do?
I am not sure.
new-
It all
okay.
depends on how this works out. I'm not really sure what's in store for this game.
Fair.
That's a question for my boss now. If you want to know, the question everyone's asking is if this is going to get produced. That is a question for Mr. David Fix.
Can we do like a petition?
I'm sure he's already sick of hearing it at shows, but if you want to, I support you.
Wow, hold on 1 second. That's very cool.
Yep. So that's
I
Pinball
love
Expo
that.
2021.
Yes. All right, let's actually go. Is there anything else that's really cool on here? Twippy Awards
Twippy
2020 favorite homebrew.
And then the Pintastic ribbon that I accidentally kind of permanently attached.
Yeah.
That was not supposed to be permanent, but it's really stuck on there, so
Okay.
I just leave it there now.
Yeah. That's not just bragging. It's stuck
I'm not
there.
just
Yeah,
trying to
we
brag.
don't
I
wanna
really, if I
damage
take
that.
it off, I'm not going to be able to get it back on again. It's going to get destroyed, so it just
that's,
lives there.
That's fair. This is awesome. Let's see, what else do we have on here? Special thanks. That's great. Oh, that's awesome.
A whole lot of people helped me along the way. Everywhere from me. Oh yeah, there we go.
This.
There we go.
This is great. Now if someone scans this QR, is there like a drop down? Is it notes? And where do you get it? How do you
It's a
receive
link
it?
to a Pinside thread. And you just post in the Pinside thread that I check every night at shows.
That's awesome.
It hasn't been used that much. Mostly, we've only had one issue this weekend where it went down briefly, and luckily one of my friends, Andy Bagwell, played it, and he called me and was like, it's down, and I was like, all right, I'll come fix it. So, but it has been used, and then
This is amazing.
it was always really useful because it helped me find, people like to be heard, so if they have a problem, and they can report it, they do. And then they're like, all right, I did my job, maybe it'll be fixed later.
Yeah, absolutely. People feel like they make a difference when they're like,
And
absolutely.
At a show, I check it every night. So, like I said, I was coding in my bedroom last night, in my hotel room last night.
That's great. That's awesome.
Got the Squish
Do
Man.
you want to play
Yeah.
a few rounds and you show her how to play?
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
It's almost like
Help stir real quick and I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, cool.
it's almost like I have a little thing
yeah,
for that.
this is great. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
excited. All right, so let me know where you go.
So-
So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your favorite Sonic game of all time, if you have one.
Yeah, okay.
So you go left and right to choose them. There's like 15 of them to choose from. And what this does is it changes your level, backgrounds, and music to match. So
Okay.
make sure you keep moving it, or that's going to time out and pick one for
okay.
you. Don't pick Game Genie just yet. Just
Okay.
yet. That's a little secret thing there.
All right.
So you went backwards, so you're seeing all the extras and secret games and stuff.
Okay, gotcha. So
Yeah.
should I go right? No, or am I good?
Yeah, you
Can any of these be?
What's your favorite Sonic game if you have one?
Okay, so I mean, I used to play the one. I mean, I had it was on Sega, but I can't remember.
They're all, well, just keep
I
clicking
guess.
through and you'll
Or
start
the one
seeing
on
them all.
Dreamcast too. You remember that one? I don't know.
So we got CD, 3D
Yeah.
Blast, Sonic Knuckles probably.
Yeah.
That's a very popular
Uh-huh.
one.
All right. Let's
So
go
you're
with,
right here.
Okay.
There. So now you picked your game. Now you're in. Now you can choose your zone. So
Okay.
each zone is a different color emerald.
All
And
right.
it will they're all color coded. So right now this is the green emerald, the green zone.
Okay.
And so the green zone is always shoot the orbits. Changing the game does not change the objectives. It just changes the music.
Okay.
So right now you flip left or right. You can go to different zones. So you have the water zone. Unfortunately, there's no water level in Sonic and Knuckles, so you're drowning in sand.
Okay. All right.
But in the water zone, you can actually drown and die. So you
Okay.
need to hit the center every once in a while, or you will run out of air, your flippers will turn off, and you will die. It is
Wow.
very anxiety-inducing, but it's not very. It's very easy to stay alive. You're going
right.
straight for it?
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, do you not
I mean,
recommend
I
it?
can keep bringing you through the other ones.
All
if
right,
you
let's
want
go
to.
through it, yeah.
All right, so flying battery zone, the yellow zone is combo shots all day.
Okay.
So all of these ones are going to be lit, and then whatever shot they feed is going to be lit for a real mode shot.
Okay.
So that one's good to stack with multi-ball because it kind of just gives you the gun for free.
Okay. So this is a good one to stack multi-ball. Am I going left or right at this point? Here we go.
That was the right way.
Okay.
So this is the fire zone. So in the fire zone, you have white and red shots. Red shots are bad. Red shots hurt you.
Okay,
That
red
is
shots,
fire.
bad.
White shots are good.
Okay.
So if you hit a fire shot, you will lose 40,000 points and 2 rings. Yes, it is possible to get a negative score, and it's a really fun competition to see who can get the highest negative score.
Yes.
But you don't lose that many points. You get 40,000 minus. Hitting one mode shot, you'll get 100,000 back. It's not a big problem.
Okay.
Losing rings, all you're really going to do is slow down your lock collection.
Okay.
So rings work like diamonds in Congo, if you ever played it. So you collect rings all over the playfield. You have these little inserts.
Okay.
How awesome is this?
Yeah.
It's almost like a genius came up with it. And if you get enough of them, it'll light the lock at the left ramp. 1, 2, 3 locks, you're in.
Awesome.
You do not make progress toward additional locks with rings until you collect it. So as soon as it's lit, you want to get the ball locked, and then all the rings you get will go toward your next lock.
Okay.
So yeah, this one is very much you have to avoid the red. You lost the moto and the light.
Yeah, she'll be back.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That one's fun too. What else you got? All right, the ice zone is hit the ramps, but you have slippery flippers, and slippery flippers cannot be held up for longer than a second, or they will drop out from under you. Very briefly, they come right back, but it's just enough to go, whoa!
That's a
shit.
really cool feature.
Yep. There's a little light show and animation that happens, and a sound effect, so the player knows that it's intentional and it's not like just, oh, the flipper's crapped out on me.
Okay, right.
But it almost never kills you until you forget about it. As soon as you forget about them, it's going to get you.
Sure. All right. And I will actually say, when we switch to this zone, I love the lighting.
I love the cyan lighting.
I was just going to say, this cool tone makes the table look so different than before
does.
in a good way. It's really cool.
And if it was a little darker in here, the fire zone, the red is really vibrant. And it really feels like, oh, it got hot in here all of a
it's
sudden.
lava. Yeah.
Like, I really like the color-coded GI lighting. So for the GI, we're still using white. We have RGBW strips,
Yep.
so we're not combining light to make white. We have dedicated white lights. And for the mood lighting, we're doing white color, white color, white color, white color, so you can still see what you're doing all the time.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. You're conscious about the player the whole time in this.
A lot of people say if it's not white, I can't play it. So we got that too. So we're just accent lighting everything. That's really what's up. Purple is just a classic. Put out all the lights. And once you put out all the lights, you'll get another set of them. Nice and boring. So this is actually the final zone that is not normally accessible until you finish the other 6. This one is much more difficult. You need to hit the center to generate a hurry up. It'll generate one hurry up shot somewhere on the playfield, and you need to hit that. And you have to do that for every mode shot. That is your final zone. It's the hardest one.
Seems like it. All right.
And then you're all the way back to the first level, which is the green zone. You hit the orbits, which happen to also be where the speed spinners are.
Oh yeah, so
that's
let's get
intentional.
yes, that makes
This
sense.
is supposed to be the zone that teaches you need to shoot the orbits to get those spinners, to get the speed, to get going.
Okay,
so
cool.
this is why it's the first zone. This is why it's the default on the, like when you, if you hadn't listened to me at all and you just pulled the thing, you'd be playing this.
Okay.
So this is a great place to start.
Do you think it's a great place to start?
It's a great place to start. So you can either auto plunge with the center or you can pull it back. It's up to you. Both of them work.
All right.
Plunging will select it, or you can hit that button. Yeah, you've now selected it. You're in Mushroom Hill Zone.
Okay,
so
cool.
now you can either plunge or hit that again, and it'll plunge it. There you go. And the plunge gives you a mode shot in this level. So you've already hit a mode shot, and Sonic has already started moving.
Oh yeah, look at, I
Nice
love that.
generous
I
ball
love that
savers.
running. Yes.
Almost got that left ramp. So that left ramp can be hit from all three flippers. It's easiest from the top.
Okay.
And the hardest shot in the game is the backhand. I don't recommend trying for that one.
Well.
And yes, that design was on this game and published before Avengers came out.
Okay, fair.
Happy coincidence.
I'm just reading the screen now. That's so cool. Mushroom Hill Zone. Shoot the orbits. It even tells you.
Yep. Got it up here and down there. 0 balls locked, 3 rings to light the lock. As soon as you light something that will make the TV do something, that's what it'll show you. But when it has nothing better to do, it shows you information.
Okay.
There you go. That's already locked ball 1. So the other thing, every time you're hitting one of these ring targets, you're also lighting a little robot enemy. And they walk onto the screen, and then they just hang out there until you kill them. You kill them by hitting another stand-up target or ring target that is not lit. So you just blew them up, even though you hit something that wasn't lit. If you collect enough of them, if you destroy enough of them, you start a multi-ball. And that will start immediately as soon as you get the right number. You don't have to activate it or anything. So someday, you're just gonna all of a sudden have multi-ball. And you're gonna be like, whoa, I did something.
How'd that happen? Yeah, right,
and that's going to happen to you 100%. You're like 1 or 2 away from it. There you go. So you've now finished Act 1. You now need to hit the signpost on the right ramp. The signpost is a horizontal spinner that was previously out of reach, and now, there we go. There's my slide saves. Do it again. Yes! Yes! Beautiful. Love it. And there.
Oh,
there it is. Medium multi-ball.
Okay, so
sorry, not medium.
Is red my friend in this mode? Like,
Yes,
do I want
yes.
to shoot red flashing?
Yes,
Okay.
everything. So the only mode that red is bad is the fire zone, and I did a lot of light shows to teach that that's bad.
Okay.
Red is fine at all other times. So right now you're fighting the mini boss.
Okay.
That shield just saved you. The mini boss is right up the center, so you get to play with the boss toy without having to get there. And you defeated him and got a dirty pool. Good job.
Thank you. What does that mean if I got the ball stuck there?
Dirty pool.
Oh yeah. Does that mean I'm a dirty player? Like I'm playing dirty? Like I'm like
So,
that was
yes,
like,
that is a reference to Adam's Family.
Oh, okay.
Adam's Family was the first one to do it. If you ever get it into the vault when you're not supposed to, it plays a clip from the movie. It says, "Dirty pool, old man.
Okay.
I like it."
That's
and so
awesome.
we play that same clip here. It's got Gomez Adams going, "Dirty pool, old man," while Knuckles sneaks out of a door. So
Very cool.
It was one of the most requested features on the game.
Really?
Yeah, people
Wow.
love trying to get the ball where they're not supposed to.
Okay, yeah, that actually kind of makes sense. So it's like knowing your limits or just finding, totally testing.
And I used to yell at them and said, "Stop trying to dirty pool a homebrew game, you jerks." But instead I just embraced it. So now they're like, "Up, I broke it." I'm like, "No, you didn't." It's a little harder than that to break my game these days. I've been working on it for too long.
Fair.
We
And
have
I
the
just noticed the mirror in the back. That's a really nice feature, so I can see the lights that are lit
Yep.
in the light. Yep. Good.
And you just got a spin dash combo, which is one of the biggest things in the game. We have the looping left orbit shot that feeds the flipper.
Okay.
And then the combo is finished after hitting a few of those by finishing at the ramp. So you're going around and around and around and around, and then you finish at the ramp, and that is the spin dash combo. So you're charging it. Every time you hit it, it's charge, 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 release. If you manage to do 4 of them and then finish it, the game goes absolutely ballistic. And it has a whole special mode for it and everything. It's really hard. Really hard.
I want to play this one more time. This is really cool.
Go ahead.
Cool. All right. Oh, I put 2 players in, so.
That's all right.
Cool. Oh, cool. We did play one game on this already, so we can go to the other one. This is really cute. So actually, I do want to, let's do this real quick. What are the rest? Okay, I wanted to see who player 1 through 4 was. That is so cute. I love that. That's
So
really cute.
That's you don't actually play as those characters, but it does let you differentiate. So from across the room, you can see this little icon,
Yeah,
and you can see, oh, all right, I know I'm Knuckles, so I can just be like, oh, that's Blue, that's Sonic, so
Yep.
that's player 1.
Yep.
We got all the way to Amy.
Yeah.
I think Amy should have been in all the classic games, but she wasn't, so she is in this. She is player 4. She is the Adaball in Mania Multi-Ball. So you lock 1, 2, 3. First one is Sonic, second one is Tails, third one is Knuckles. If you get a super jackpot, it likes a pink mystery over here, and that is the Adaball, and she shows up.
That's
and then
awesome.
from there on out, it adds pink to all the light show locations.
And will Adaball, like, does this have, like, the button have any colors in it?
No, unfortunately, I have not lit up the bottom of the cabinet yet. There's no
Okay.
lighting that goes, so there's no light here, there's no light in the start button. That's just,
okay, yeah,
there will
yeah.
be, but that's just a physical limitation.
Yeah,
This
I'd
is
love for
actually
that to be pink.
This is actually a Williams System 11, or System 7 lock bar.
Okay.
This is a mod. I was able to mod in a button.
Yeah, 3D printed.
Yeah, I had a
can see
collar, I
that.
drilled a hole, and like there's a switch like hacked into the receiver. Like
Yeah.
that shouldn't exist.
Yeah, your 3D printing's really awesome. I really have to comment on how lovely it is. You know what you're
I have a
doing.
lot of
It's
practice. I
awesome.
have a lot of practice.
You can tell. You can tell.
And I've been hearing the same thing from the people at the American Pinball office. They're like, "You're really good at this."
That's
A
great.
lot of experience.
Yeah, so if you haven't played this table, seen it before, you have to check it out. You have to play it. It's amazing.
Yep. So we're obviously here. It's also going to be at Pintastic in June, and we're going to be bringing it to Chicago Pinball Expo.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for talking about this, showing me how to play it. I feel like I'm going to know a lot more going into the game than I did before, and I want to learn a little bit more about this. So thank you so much. I can't wait to play it
I'd be
later.
happy to show you some more. Let me know when you want to play. We'll play
Awesome.
together.
Cool,
We got to do a
thank
split
you.
flipper game.
Split flip. I
Split
love it.
flipper's
Sonic
great.
split flip. Yes, I'm down. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, this is so cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Awesome. All right, you guys are good. Thanks, Ryan. That was awesome, in-depth Sonic Spinball. It's so great. I'm so happy for him that now he's working with American. So we'd love to follow Ryan's journey through the pinball industry and see all what happens. So now Kelly Cochran is getting Undertale ready. It's just right over there. I have to do another little shimmy. We might lose some connection, potentially, maybe not. Let's see how good I can do this. So just hang on tight, y'all. And yeah. Midwest Gaming Classic.
Here's your microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Face off is on. I don't remember turning it on. Yeah, you do. I'll be around. I'll either be over here or I'll be over there.
Okay. Where?
Alright, you want help moving anything?
Yeah, we're gonna go to Undertale.
Want help moving anything?
I think we're just gonna stick this. Power. I want to pull that power.
Are you guys just moving around the island?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm right there. So
Okay, I'll come find you when we're gonna.
when
we're
you
voting.
get that level.
Yeah.
I saw you do math. And this, like, I know what they're doing the easy way.
That's right. It's called a circuit.
Right.
Let's
Let's go. Oh, this is not a good idea.
You gotta go. You gotta get it now.
All right. Take that traffic jam, girl. If you want to put it like right here, you can probably open up a couple more feet over there. I'm just worried about someone like not being shit. Yeah, like that. Like, What score do I have? I have 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it.
Looks like it's low.
I'm gonna grab a
Can't get you there from here. Get the extension cord. Can't get there.
Cool. I'll go see if we can get another one. I'll be right back.
Can't play it. I know it's always on it. I got a couple games in, but I need more. I want more. I want my great champion. You know what that is right now for a show? I haven't checked. I played this last year. No, it's not bad. I'll try. Probably not gonna happen, but I'll try. Not on camera, but I just finished. They're off looking for extension cords. I almost got the entire thing. I'm not gonna throw it. I just want to guess. What?
They're looking at it. Like
Right here.
Want me to throw it on the table for you or what?
tell them.
Pardon me for asking. Why are you?
We're Sunny and Basil from Omori.
Offering by a new way.
Sunny
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Basil from Homebrew. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just curious, really. I saw when I was getting tickets.
Oh, okay.
Next thing you know, I got this.
I know, we're gonna have to ask them. Yeah, yeah. We'll have you guys come around this way. Did you get a power? What?
You got a cord for me to crawl with or what?
No, I think Natalie's in there getting it.
Really?
Oh, she was. She just had the big cable. Where'd she go? I'm gonna put this right there. You guys stand really close. Just like we did it back there.
Wow. Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's
I
run
know.
this under
Like that,
Undertale,
the joint
not right past the fire. We're ready whenever you are. Game's good.
Okay, cool. Kelly just showed up.
Sweet.
So we'll
No
do
worries.
this. I'll
I
take
just wanted to let you know.
Thanks. All right. What's up, Colin Baxter? We are almost set up for Undertale. Look, you're on camera. She didn't expect that one to happen.
Alright, you should be good.
That's my mini-me, Jordan. She wants to take some pictures, but I'm using the camera right now. Dang. I feel like I need to change this to be...
So, like, do I need to look at the camera more when I'm talking? I don't understand that.
No.
Okay.
If you're talking, then choose the camera, look at the camera. Otherwise, you can kind of just stay engaged with the talker, but like, try not to get so side profile. Like, you're kind of like looking facing the camera, but like, oh, okay. And then like, if they say something that, imagine the audience is another person. So every once in a while, you're like, like if you're having a group combo.
Yeah, just so I can see that. So it's fine.
For sure. All right. All right, y'all. I think we're all set up. Look at that. Oh, hold on. Just kidding. That's a great frame to be frozen on. Let's try to fix that.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
I'm Kelly.
Jack.
All right.
All right, good?
There we
Set
go.
up?
Yeah.
Any crawling for you anymore?
Nope, we're good.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you.
They go pretend they work for
All right.
because they haven't seen me all
Let's see if we got audio. That should be good. No, they can't see you. Can you talk?
Oh, yeah. Testing.
Okay, good.
Testing.
Nice. Okay. So y'all work at you over here on this side while they play. So follow me this way. Okay, we're going around.
All right, hold it, not gonna.
And then have you come up a little bit more. Yeah, like right there for now. Do you want to?
Yeah, I'm playing. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to interfere with you.
No, it's okay if you want to play it. Yeah, it won't bother you if you hang out, right? Yeah, awesome.
I've been at work all day.
Okay. Alright, hold on one sec. That's okay. Alright. The angle isn't the greatest, but once we let this nice person play a game of Undertale, we will get going. Let's get some focus. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's do this.
And I love how, like, the entire game is, like, programmed around how the sound is, you know?
I agree. Yeah, really. Yeah, totally. Yes. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Natalie with Marco TV. Right here we have a great table called Undertale, and let's go ahead and talk about it. Can you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about this table?
Hi, I'm Kelly Corcoran. I built this thing. Yeah, this is my back glass artist right here. This is Maddie.
And I was motivational support, eh?
And motivational support. And then between the two of us, we made something that's apparently pretty popular.
Oh yeah. So this table has a really cool design. So I have so many questions to ask. How long ago did you start this project?
We had the idea as we were attending Midwest Gaming Classic 2017.
2017
Yeah,
MGC.
like the other building?
Yep, back when Midwest Gaming Classic was still at the Sheraton, actually. And,
Okay.
Over the next couple of years, I built this, and ever since then, I've been improving it a little bit.
Okay, all right. So, a few years you started the project back during the almost old school MGC days. Is this the first pinball project you've done before, or have you had other projects before you
Yeah.
started this?
Well, kinda.
Yeah, other than repairing and restoring, this is the first machine I built completely from scratch,
Yeah.
but not the last.
Okay,
Yeah, it's the first
good.
one you've actually completely built. You've had like design ideas.
Yeah, I've done visual pinball stuff since I was about 8, but this is the first time I actually built something for real.
Okay, and what kind of hardware did you use in this machine?
Pretty much custom everything.
Custom everything?
Yeah, other than the stuff that's obviously bought off the Marco or Pinball Life shelves, you know,
Yep.
the flippers, mechanisms like that. Of course, that's all pretty standard stuff. But the physical cabinet, the playfield, the software, the hardware, the firmware, pretty much all of that was completely built from the ground up.
Yes.
Okay, and have you had coding experience or anything?
I have.
Okay.
You have.
So that, I mean, was it hard? What was the biggest obstacle while you were? Well, I should separate it. What was your hardest coding obstacle, and what was your biggest like physical playfield obstacle?
Well,
if we could call it that.
Both good questions. I'll start with the coding. I pretty much understood how a game was supposed to be programmed when I started with this, although certainly there was a lot of trial and error getting it really, really good. At some point there was a big issue where occasionally it would miss certain events, like if you got a replay, it wouldn't show the animation and stuff like that. And I had written the entire event handling code completely from scratch, and I finally, just months ago, found the bug that was making it not work. So that was definitely a long-standing issue.
Okay, did you say you built the code? Like you pretty much did the code ground up yourself? You didn't build off of any existing nothing? You just did it. You did it from scratch. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is so meticulously amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And congrats on finding like the replay bug. By the way, like
Yeah.
you probably lost sleep at night not knowing why that was happening too.
Yeah, it was irritating. Like I was taking the replay animation event and putting it up to like the absolute maximum possible priority, and it still wasn't happening. I'm like, why is this not working?
Yeah. Wow. Well, all right. That's awesome. Okay. Wait. That was coding. How about playfield?
Okay, so playfield. Here's the thing about the playfield.
Not everything fit at first.
Yeah.
You even had to opt out some parts you meant to have in there.
Yeah. I didn't technically build a whitewood for this game.
Okay.
I had a board with some cardboard on it.
Okay.
But I pushed the ball around with my hand a little bit. But I didn't get basically any whitewood testing. And the playfield you see here is pretty much my whitewood with art on it. And there were definitely some design issues that I found that I didn't really think ahead for when I was designing it. And a couple of months ago, I was really sick of how almost all the shots on the back wall of the playfield would miss just because they'd bounce the ball straight back at you. And I took the whole back of the playfield apart. And I ordered some new parts. I kind of re-engineered the back shots. And that really fixed everything, I think. And it really improved the rules of the game once you could actually hit what you're really needing to hit.
Sure, right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Did you do a lot of testing on you said virtual pinball experience, like you said you've been doing that since you were younger, so did you test most of this via a VPX or?
Yeah, Visual Pinball 9 was actually the one I did it in.
Okay.
And I went through 11 design iterations. It maybe should have been 12, but I think it went pretty well, just kind of visualizing what I wanted and making sure the measurements were right and everything.
Okay, and how many shows have you brought this pin to? How long have you been showing this?
I want to say this is the 4th show it's been to.
4th show?
3 of which were Midwest Gaming Classics, and it's also been
Okay, 3 for 4 MGC. Okay, very cool. Yeah, and what was the 4th one that wasn't MGC?
Yeah, that was Expo in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they pretty much told us they wanted us to come.
Really?
Yeah.
That is really awesome. Okay, so I know we've talked. Okay, I actually want to ask you a little bit about the artwork, right? Because you did the design on that and everything.
Yeah.
Where did you get the idea, the concept from? It's so cute.
I just went with a style that I just kind of liked and felt like it fit with the characters, honest.
Really? Did you know any of the sounds or any of the storyline before you came up with the artwork? Or I mean, how did you know what you wanted to draw?
We played the game first all the way through, and then we did this after we had played it, and we were just so into the game.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So the characters built themselves as you were playing. You kind of came up with that design in your mind. That's really awesome. Have you done artwork for pinball machines before? Or is this your first?
This is the first one that's on anything really official. Because I'm still working on building my art profile.
Okay.
So that was my first big project.
It's an awesome style. I think it speaks to a lot. I think it'll speak to a lot of people. The style, you're drawn to it when you look at it, and the use of the heart and the R, everything about it is really
my style
cute.
honestly varies depending on what I'm drawing for.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
To cartoon, anything in between.
Okay, very cool. That's awesome. Do you want to do more designs on pinball tables in the future?
I'm working on another one right now.
Yeah, we have another game in the works right now.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, when do you think you'll be bringing a second game? Do we have any estimated timelines on that?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, I would have really liked to bring it this year,
Okay.
but we moved, and that kind of took up all the time that I was going to finish up the wiring.
Fair.
And that's what's a completely unique unique design and not based off anything. So that's kind of cool.
Okay, that's really cool. I kind of want to play the game a little bit. We'll see if we'll get to play. But, because I want to ask questions while I'm kind of looking at it. Is he still playing?
Come over here now.
Yeah, cool. Do you want me on this side or that side? I love your outfits too, by the way. You guys look really nice together.
Yes, we are. We're cosplaying as Sunny and Basil from the game Omori.
Really?
Which honestly, I love as much as Undertale.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. Really. Oh, that's so cool, you guys. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And I mean, you look dapper with like along the table too. Okay, so let's talk about some of this table. Let's look at the shots. Let's talk about the artwork. Now, did you do the artwork on like all the buildings and stuff too? No, like
These
what
ones
is this?
are actually from the game, except they're smoothed out.
Okay.
So yeah, these were official from the game. The game was all in pixel style, and he smoothed out the artwork.
Okay. I may have asked you this yesterday, and I can't remember, so I'm so sorry. Skill shot. Do we have a skill shot on here?
I do indeed.
Okay.
There's a very, very difficult shot. If you pull the plunger exactly the right amount, the ball will end up going all the way up here and landing in the Alfie's lab saucer.
Okay.
But if you don't want to go to all that work, you can soft plunge just up to there.
Yep.
And as long as you don't hit anything from the bottom right flipper, you can hit the same shot and it still counts.
Okay. Very cool. That's awesome. And what is all? Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the table when I'm looking at this? What are all these modes?
All right, so each one of these is one of the major characters from Undertale, or all of them, they each have their own sort of mini game. You know, I kind of modeled this after 90s Williams games, so if you think of Addams Family mansion rooms or Twilight Zone door panels or whatever, you know, each one is a mode.
Up here.
Each one of these characters is also represented somewhere up there.
Okay.
And, you know, they each have their own timed modes or shots, with a couple of exceptions. One of which is Undyne over there, the fish lady with the spear.
Okay, hold on,
She's got a multi-ball mode.
This is Undyne right
That
here.
is
All right,
Undyne,
cool. That's cool. So that's multi-ball.
Yep. And speaking of multi-ball, you know, up here we got our secondary kind of our mini bosses.
Okay.
Each one of these, they don't exactly have their own modes, but once you've collected all three of them, you light lock, or save as it's called. You lock 3 balls up here, annoying dog absorbs the balls, and then you get a classic multi-ball with a jackpot.
Okay. This is so pretty. All of I'm just looking at the detail. It's one of those. It's so fun to come up to a table and really look at it, especially like one of a kind, right? Because you don't even know what to expect. You can't be like, oh yeah, like oh.
But yeah, we did have some issues putting some of the pieces in there.
Which pieces?
Like that one, you can see there's a crack.
Sure, but you just say there was such intense gameplay that it was one crazy game and it was like the high score, right?
It wasn't though. It was you trying to put it in and you heard a snap and you're like,
oh, yep.
Yeah, a few parts didn't totally fit perfectly when I designed them.
Okay.
Like you'll notice the base of the ramp here, the center ramp.
Yeah.
You can see it bent up a little bit. I kind of had to do that just to get it to fit, unfortunately.
Okay.
And I discovered like a year after I had all this stuff laser cut, I had my measurement scale wrong in Inkscape, and that's why none of my posts totally lined up. That's what my problem was.
Wow, there's a lot of planning that goes to that, and it's not really until like you don't really know until kind of working on it for a while, right? You're just like, oh, there's my problem. Oh, okay. So where are the speakers? I mean, I'm kind of looking at this, right? And you'll see most pinball machines have the speakers on the front. So where do we have the sound coming from on this?
So I replicated the Bally style from late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
So the speakers are actually
right here.
So if you're thinking, you know, Radical, Gilligan's Island, I think Party Zone, you know, they have that style. So I kind of like that design, and that's what I did here.
Yeah, I like having the art on either side. That's really cool. And the graphics on this are very, very unique. I really like the style. I don't know, is there anything we can go through and look at?
Yeah, it doesn't let you page through anything, but everything's kind of based on the style of the actual Undertale, especially when you're playing, and it's got the green border when you're battling against an enemy or just trying to avoid battling an enemy, as the case may be. There's a screen that looks a whole lot like that, so I wanted my in-game screens to kind of look like that scene from the game.
Okay, yeah, right. Cool. Can we, do you guys want to play a game or like talk me through it a little bit? Cool, awesome.
You want an attempted guided tour?
I do. I would love an attempted guided tour, yes.
All right. It might be easier if I just did it because I'll know exactly where I want to catch the ball and everything.
Good so far.
All right.
Pardon?
It's going good so far.
Yeah, I think so. Cool. You like it? You like the pin?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. We talking 2 players or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All righty. So we started a multiplayer game here, which my code supports.
Yep. Oh, yes. Successfully. Yep.
Yep.
Check.
So I'm going to attempt that skill shot I told you about.
Okay. Yep.
I'm not going to do it with the plunger. It's just too hard. But I did see somebody do it while I was here, so that's pretty cool.
So it's doable, you know.
It
yeah,
is
that's
doable.
right. The design is right.
Let's see. I got the ball. Whoa, no, missed that one. I feel like this thing might be a little angled to the left right now. I thought I had it right, but maybe I didn't.
I love this. I love the screen.
Okay, got the ball. So I'm going to go for one of these little games here.
Okay.
And the way you light these up, the way you qualify them, is you hit all 7 of the little red monster targets. Well,
Okay.
I say you hit the targets, but you don't really have to because every major shot you make spots the next target. So hit ramps, hit lanes, hit saucers.
Okay, it'll spot it. That's cool.
So that's one. That's my N. That was almost my T. As long as I am here, I might as well shoot for the ruins shot, which is blinking. That'll give me Napstablook, my first of the mini bosses.
Very good.
Or I could miss. I could miss horribly and lose the ball.
That was a really good shot. You actually did though what you were talking about, so I mean you followed through. And I like that there's 4 flippers on this. What made you pick the placement for your higher flippers, like the design for that? Placement.
Yeah, what I really wanted to do with this design was I didn't want to waste money on flippers that don't do much, you know? So what I had tried to lay out when I was really doing the original sketches was I wanted every flipper to have at least 2 major shots to hit.
Okay.
And I wanted every major shot to go to another flipper. I wanted it to be all about flow.
Okay.
And so, for example, here, when your ball comes out of the saucer on the left, you could let it go all the way down and grab it here. That's an option. Or you could flip it in 2 directions. Either up that scoop right there, which is honestly a little challenging to hit.
Okay.
Or up this flipper lane right here, where it might even land in the lap saucer.
Okay. Oh, yep. Okay.
And from the upper right, you got a couple of choices. You got the side passage from Hotland, where you lock balls and stuff like that. Or you got up to Metaton's Resort, which is a vertical up kicker shot.
It's really cute. Oh yeah, that's right. It'll come right down here. That one, it scared me the first time I played it. You know when you don't know where to anticipate the ball coming from.
I got my ball. Let's see if I can do the still shot this time. Nope. No, I missed that one. Oh well. There we go. Okay. So now I'm qualified to do a boss fight. And the current monster we have selected is Papyrus.
Okay.
The skeleton with the scarf. Here we go. Here we go. And his mode is all about the Snowden area. And
Okay.
basically, you just hit shots up there. Hit the bumper, hit targets. Anything up in that corner of the playfield gives you a little points bonus.
This I love how it just I love the heart. It's so cute. I love that feature.
Yeah,
For
when
the
you
record.
when you lose a battle in the actual Undertale game, that's what happens. The little heart on the screen represents your soul in this underground world.
Okay.
Part of the battle sequence is you have to move that heart around to dodge enemy attacks.
Okay.
And I was actually planning early on to have a mode where you have to use the flipper buttons to control the heart and dodge things, but I never really ended up implementing that. So that
Okay.
would be something for the future.
Cool. I like that.
And I see that we can see all the insert lights really well now.
Yeah.
It's a huge improvement over even last show.
Oh, really?
Um,
So what were the changes you made last show then from that? Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Yes, tell me about it.
There were a few changes. One of them was I revamped the lighting system on it.
Okay.
It uses a lamp matrix like a System 11 game, basically. And originally, when I designed the circuitry, the chip that I used to control the lamp matrix was a little bit underpowered.
Okay.
So all the lights, if you had one light on at a time, it would be nice and bright. Any more than that, they start to get really dim.
Yeah.
And as other lights would turn on, the lights that were off would get dim, and it looked really bad. And I ended up doing a little bit of research on how to do a lamp matrix properly.
Okay.
And I was able to come up with a better circuit design. And now I still can't hit that skill shot. But I was able to do a better lamp matrix circuit. Now everything's nice and bright.
It does. It looks really nice.
Yeah. And with fresh color matched LEDs on everything too, it helped quite a bit too.
I honestly just really like the program.
Yeah.
Which ramp do you like? Oh yeah, it is. It's pretty, isn't it? Yeah. Or you like the design, like where it pops out, how it's shot, everything about it. Yeah. It is a good color.
Blue just kind of is my favorite lately.
Okay, so I got one of those yesterday too. I don't know what that is. Okay, start bosses. And can you change
No.
like your modes before you start the ball? Like your boss, or can you change who you want to like what mode you'll start in that? Is that like a flipper control thing, or is that just?
You are actually in control of it. It depends on which shot you hit before you qualify it.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, the far left scoop, that's waterfall. That
Okay.
one highlights Undyne. This scoop over here. Yeah, yeah. Toriel is up here in this scoop.
Okay.
And you can keep choosing which one you want until you finally qualify the monster targets. After that point, it's locked in.
It's locked in. Okay,
Yep.
okay. And that's where your extra ball is too. Yeah, I see that.
Yep. And when you get an extra ball, you get a message that you are filled with determination. And that's something that throughout the whole game of Undertale, you at your save points,
Okay.
you get various messages about the area. Like, for example, the original one that you see is next to a hole in the wall, and it says, "Knowing the mouse will one day leave the hole and get the cheese fills you with determination." And so when you get an extra ball on here, it's the warm glow of the shoot again light fills you with determination.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like, I love that. I love how you've incorporated, people are going to appreciate that when they see that, that's great. That's awesome. You got to love the snarky, yes, that's great.
Yeah. And the fans of the game really love it. Like, honestly, when our friends first saw it, trending on Twitter, they're like, "Oh my god, what? This is yours?" It's like, yes.
Yeah, pretty much every show it goes to, it ends up going viral somewhere, whether it's
Yeah.
Twitter or Reddit or
There's
something.
actually, we have traveled to our home area to play it.
Yeah. And last year's Midwest Gaming Classic, we ran into somebody who actually came to this show specifically to play this game.
Really? You had someone come specifically just for this? So, like, what do you want to, like, do you see yourself making more pins? Like, do you want to, like, what, is this just for fun? Is this a side project? Or do you hope to, like, make more of these and you just kind of, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've got some people who, like,
I don't
kind
know
of
what it is for you, but
Yeah, it's kind of a hobby for me. It's just
Yeah.
a fun little thing
for
that I
me,
do.
I kind of want to get it turned into something a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see one of the things we design just like everywhere.
Yeah.
Honest, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, the next one, the original theme that we've come up with is definitely, I'm hoping to get it I'm hoping a lot of people will get into it, even if it's not really a recognizable thing.
Sure.
But that design also was kind of like a thing you came up with a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah, yep. When I said this was my first pinball machine I ever built, I
Yeah.
forgot. I wasn't totally correct about that.
Okay, yeah. It seems like
Yeah.
you really have a lot of, like,
Yeah.
understanding, or, like, at least you self-taught how to do this sort
Yeah,
of thing. So what was the first one?
When I was about 15, and I built sort of a pinball machine. Like, it had direct wired working flippers, and that was about it.
Okay.
But it was, I called it Volcano Blast.
Okay.
And the idea was there were going to be a couple of volcanoes on the playfield that were going to erupt and stuff. It didn't really get far because I didn't have the money or experience to really do a good game.
Yeah, sure.
But fast forward to present day,
Yeah.
Volcano Blast is going to become real.
Yeah?
That is the
And
next
it's got
game.
anime, girls.
Yeah, it's I turned it into kind of an anime theme, and I wrote a whole backstory for it. and
Very
everything.
cool.
So I'm hoping next Midwest Gaming Classic, at least, I'll be able to bring it, be able to show it off.
That's amazing. So I hope to see it here next year too. I mean, you have people coming to the event just to play this. So it's, what else are you gonna make? What else are we gonna create? And we need to get more people,
I've
like,
got a couple design ideas in the works, eh? You just need to teach me how to properly do all that. I'm
Yeah.
bad with all the wiring and stuff.
oh, that's an easy thing. Like, you guys did the hardest part already, right? So you can learn by proxy. That's so doable. I believe in you. Like, it's one of those things, right? I mean, if you can draw, like, I feel like that you're capable of a lot more than a lot of people.
I suppose.
Don't sell yourself short. You
I
will.
know. That's how I get better.
That's
I just feel
right.
Like, I can't do it, so you gotta try to practice even more.
Yeah, practice, 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 practice.
A lot of people will be like, oh, that's not a good way to look at it. But if I say, well, I'm not good at it, then it pushes me to go even further and try to be better.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to go about it, but
I understand. I also would like to tell you, I would like to point out, I love that you have your little rules listed here. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
always the hard feat, right? Is how do you know a table if you've never walked up to it? So you
Yeah.
at least get the basics, which is awesome, super helpful, and really, it's really, it looks really nice. Everything, the way you've printed it, everything, it just has a really beautiful flow, and I love it. I think that's why a lot of people appreciate it, maybe, I don't know. I mean, how can you not? I'm just drawn to it when I walk past it, so this is super cool.
yeah.
Really appreciate, like, everything, yeah, that you told me about. This is so cool.
Centrally located.
So as long as we're here, you care for an inside shot?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let me get my keys. I have one somewhere. I'm going to start up at the back box.
Cool.
'Cause that's where all the custom hardware is.
Yeah, so when I asked you about the hardware earlier, let's see the guts.
All right.
Guts. Careful.
All right. So, standard insert panel, flashers all over the place, light things up extra when you're
Love
doing
this.
something right.
That's great.
So, it doesn't open very far, so you might have to pick another angle here.
Yeah.
So, on the left-hand side, we got a standard computer motherboard, power supply. Power supply also handling our flashers.
Yes.
Over here, we got the audio amplifier, which is new as of this show. And this is the first show you can hear this game at.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, it was too quiet on the other ones.
yeah, I started I started out with speakers that were too small, then an amp that was too small.
Okay.
But new speakers, new amp, we can finally hear a thing.
Speakers, amp, yeah, lights, nice and bright. Yeah, this is something you don't know that until you go to a place too. You really can't plan for some of that stuff. This is awesome.
Yeah, like it was fine before because we didn't have all this background
Right,
noise.
absolutely.
Yeah. Now on the right-hand side, we got all my custom hardware, which I didn't know how to use circuit board design tools like KiCad at the time. I do now. Custom board set for the next game.
Yeah.
But I got everything on breadboards here. So I got a couple of Teensies. I got a 3.5 and an LC. They're programmable boards, kind of like Arduino if you got any viewers familiar with that.
Yep.
But I got my 2 solenoid drivers down at the bottom. And I got my switch matrix controller, my old lamp controller, which is half used now, and then this little augmentation up here where I said I improved the lamp circuitry.
Yeah, so you have like a separate dedicated, like,
Yep,
okay.
this is my, I want to say my row controller. I got all 8 drivers there.
Okay.
Huge improvement when I put that in.
Yeah. So you said you researched that to figure that out, right? Yeah. How to like kind of, improve it, and that was what you came up with?
Yep.
Was it your first design after you read up on it, and it was like that worked exactly as you expected it to?
Amazingly enough, this board worked the first time when I tested it. I was so happy.
That's awesome. Well, that life doesn't always work out
Yeah,
that way, but hey, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I had made a previous attempt at it with a smaller board before last year, I want to say. That board did not work, but after I did the research and I made a new board, this is what I did, and it worked.
Oh, it's so awesome. So
And
you got 2 fans, and I see 2, right? Is there any more?
that's
No,
all
that's
there
the
is. It seems like all I needed. It doesn't seem to overheat or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
I got all my playfield and cabinet cables on Molex connectors here,
Yep.
which I'm glad I did because 2 or 3 times I've had to pull the playfield to do work, especially when I told you earlier how I had to redo the back shots. Playfield had to come out for that because I lack slide rails. Those. When you pull out the playfield on a Williams game, you can reach all the way in the back.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
have
that's
that. It just tilts up like an old system.
Okay.
So that was a lifesaver.
Yeah, that's really smart too. Yeah. That was good that you planned it. It wasn't, too late, right? And running into an issue. That's amazing. Sorry, I'm just kind of staring. Wow.
I got a couple of fuses on there.
Yeah, I was looking at, so I kind of was staring at the fuses. I saw, I was like,
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it to you or just to some other people. There's 5 fuses on the game. So
5.
far, I've blown 2 of them.
wow.
One of them was early on in development.
Okay.
The other one was yesterday.
Okay.
I brought the game over in the trailer. I got them all stuck somewhere over there in the corner.
Yeah.
So I reached in there, I'm trying to dislodge the ball. Game is running. Ball shorts out a GI socket. All the lights go out. But fortunately, it was just the fuse, and Rob Anthony was able to help out with
At
that.
least it's
Awesome.
not like last time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Last
Last time I had some issues.
Yeah, with the flippers.
Really? Oh wait, yes, they were. Oh, did you say that they were overheating? Not overheating. Did you say overheating? You told me about
sort
this.
of, yeah.
Yes.
Last year, my end of stroke switches were giving me some issues.
Okay.
Like not opening. The high voltage end of stroke switches were not opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I melted 2 coils last year before I replaced all the switches, new caps, and fuses on every flipper.
Okay.
Now we're good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. This is so beautiful. Do you think you would design? So when you do your next pin, maybe you already have. Are you going to do a same hardware? Are you going to try something different using your breadboards? I mean.
Yeah. No more breadboards on this one.
Okay.
I've actually done up the whole board set on it already. I'm doing mostly under playfield mounted stuff. I'm especially proud of my my flipper controller board. There's going to be 3 of them for 3 flippers.
Okay.
Each one is basically 1 flipper's worth of a Williams Fliptronic board.
Okay.
So it does the entire thing all through the computer. Now, if the end of stroke switch breaks or doesn't open, the computer just knows, oh, well, the flipper went up. I better shut off the high power. So
Okay.
I come up with all that logic already, and all I have to do is finish up the wiring and flash my ATmega 328s, which I designed for it, and I think it's going to work pretty well. I've already tested it with flippers on a breadboard, and it seems to be working.
That's awesome. I was
nicely.
going to ask how you tested that. You're like, you got the logic in place. I'm like, well, how'd you test that
Yeah.
logic? That's always the
Yeah,
fun question.
I got a solderless breadboard, which
Okay.
was a lifesaver for prototyping.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I just put my chip on there, and then 6 solenoid drivers, so 2 flippers and 2 slingshots. And I just wired everything up to test everything out, and it worked the first time. So
Yeah.
so once I was sure my circuits worked, then I did my keycad work, and now I have my circuit boards mounted. All I have to do is wire up my switches and my solenoids, and then my playfield wiring for Volcano Blast is going to be ready to go.
That's awesome. That's such a smart. That's a really cool way to test that too. That's always. I love asking that question. Because you never know until. But how you have to be so far along really until you're like actually on a table playing. So that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. This is fantastic. You really came up with awesome ways to fix any issues you ran into. The way you designed it, it's beautiful. The artwork is so fantastic on this. I love it. I can't wait to play it more so I can learn more about it myself personally. But it's great. It's all for that's what it's all about is playing, learning, and thank you for telling us about the board. Right? We can be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Keep playing.
I don't know. You got time for an underplay field? Or
Should
what?
we go to the next one? Next one, or can I play a game? Okay, all right. Can I play a game? Too long?
Are you gonna play?
No.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go to Motor City Taxi now.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah, we gotta go. I'll be back and we'll play later.
Alrighty.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly, Maddie, so much for walking me through this, showing me kind of how the things work. Really, really great team putting this together, and it's great. And good luck at cosplay. So, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes, Undertale. Yeah, thanks, guys. Yes. Thank you.
All right, y'all. That was an amazing interview, Natalie with Kelly on Undertale Pinball. Oh, thank you so much. Give me my mic back. We are going to migrate to Motor City Taxi, where we first started off. Benson got all his problems fixed. So we're going to shimmy over there, give us a few minutes to set up, go get a drink and a beer, whatever you want to do. It's way too early for alcohol. Don't do that. We're at a pinball show. I don't know. I drink coffee, as Shell Shot pointed out. But we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more games to show y'all. So hang out and get comfy.
Okay.
And I saw in the video what happened.
There's Jordan.
Yeah, I'm not lying about my
All right.
I told them that already.
I might have a shimmy accident. My setup is very precarious. I will turn it to this camera. Well, yeah, you guys can watch some of the booth action as we shimmy together.
Am I good to play it again?
Oh, yeah. Yep, all you.
I'm hoping to break the million.
I hope you do good luck. Oh yeah, tell me when. Is it? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. I love it. Oh,
What's he doing?
All right, we're back in. We're gonna go get Matt. I'm gonna show you guys the other camera angle, and we will be right back. How many pins, homebrew pins? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to say. And so far, we've seen Sonic Spinball by Ryan McQuaid and Undertale by Kelly Cochran. All right, let's do this. Click over here. Oh, that's right. Gotta fix that. Ah, ah, ah. OBS, you're being so nice to me today. Thank you. You heard about one homebrew pin and was wondering if it's there? Yeah, which one? Which one are you looking for, Garage Pinball? Sonic Spinball? Because we did just look at that. I just said that, though. I'm excited. These guys are so awesome.
Was she the one in the T-Rex costume last year? Yeah.
It was Undertale. Oh, yeah, we just finished Undertale. So you can watch, after we finish the stream, you can watch the archives on YouTube, Marco Pinball's YouTube page. So Kelly will be second up in that, in this stream. Oh yeah, we'll find out if he's gonna make it in Visual Pinball. I see him over there. I can go ask him real quick while we're waiting. Oh look, we can see Benzik, the designer of Motor City Taxi, in his game right now. He's in the city. He's like Godzilla. Fun. Now I just want a quick bathroom break and show me that. Oh, you can go ahead. Oh, you have a
I like the drop targets. I didn't notice that last time.
So
Just kidding. He walked away before I could say anything. Oh look, let's listen.
Keep it simple, stupid. Like, I just wanted to know what I didn't know about, like, design.
Mr. Baxter.
So I wanted to keep it, like, single level as much as possible. So, like, this is just going to be a jump ramp, and then I'll theme it like the Kobo Center in Detroit and have, like, what looks like the auto show on it. Because it's all it's meant to do is just be, you know, something to get over the orbit and then kick it to the uppers.
Right. You're gonna put switches or something up there, like rollovers.
I might have, you know, either like in the wall have, you know, some switches in there, like, because depending on how cleanly you hit it, defines how high up on the wall it goes. So some people are like, oh, put switches up there so that like it kind of gauges how high it went.
I guess I was thinking like buttons or something. Like you have to get out there
Yeah.
and hit those. You could have a bullseye if you hit and smack it hard enough, and then it hits the wall. You know.
Yeah, it was kind of something that, like, I didn't have much at the time of designing. I didn't have a lot of code planned, and so as far as like, I was like, this was a marquee thing. I wanted this jump, but I didn't know how I was gonna handle it up there. So I was like, all right, I'll just put that there. And then people were like, it feels good, but I think there should be something more there. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's probably the last corner that will get finished. Like, I'll get, like, the fit and finish polish down here. And then, like, because at the end of the day, I can have this come off a little bit further so that it kind of holds the ball. Like, if you kind of, like, if you rattle it a little bit, it gets stuck up there and does some stuff.
Put a switch on your bridge here to start, so that it knows that you're going up the bridge, and then maybe the back wall could be a magnet.
Yeah.
And then would grab it or something, and then you can do something with it. I don't know.
Yeah, so I have opto openings.
Oh,
I just haven't put them in. It was one of those things of, I knew I needed them, but like before Expo last year, like the last Expo, this playfield was just a piece of plywood 14 days before the show. And I did a full cut, inserts, clear coat, playfield swap in that 14 days or something. Because I thought that was a fun thing to do. So, yeah, sounds good. Good talking to you. Oh, we're ordering. My mom sensed I was getting angry, so she had me order Panera and picked it up. So we just chowed down on some salads in the back. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. I didn't notice you without the Godzilla costume.
Oh.
That's
Wait,
I
who's
just hired my
Barlow's
new
dog?
camera op.
Or who's Barlow's?
Barlow? Chris Franchi's dog.
Oh, yeah.
My laptop is just filled with pinball dog stickers.
Yes. Panda.
Panda Express?
Yes.
Dang. I want some Panda Express. Did you do it?
Yep.
You're good? Okay. And your mic? No, not yet. Here you go.
The chat being nice to us.
They're loving it. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, they're giving us all the Kyles.
That's Colin Baxter. He notoriously loves to give us all the Kyles. Is Matt Golden bound? Oh, Joel, you made it. Why aren't you here with Boys Night Out?
It's /Marco TV.
Pinball. Marco Pinball. Matt, are you golden bound?
Huh?
Are you golden bound?
Oh, am I golden bound? No, unfortunately not, but I will at least try to make a presence at Extreme if I can. Talking about
Oh,
Golden
that's what
State.
he means by going about.
Yeah.
Going to Lodi. Gotcha. Man,
Yeah,
all this
because
pinball slang.
Flynn's Arcade sets up a bunch of
Lynn's
RVs or
Arcade.
something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
for that show. So.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to hang out with them. All right, let's
All
do
right.
this.
TV.
Joel hates me. No, you don't.
When are we started?
We're about to start right now. So you can go ahead and. I know, you gotta frame them up.
I don't have the leg strength to like swallow like that. Works for me.
When they show the pinball machine and stuff, can I show it? Yeah. I'm gonna show it.
Alright, very good. Alright, you guys are good.
We're good. Can you hear me and everything?
Yep.
Cool? Okay.
Testing.
Yeah, testing 1, 2, 3.
Ball 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, ball 1, 2, 3. I like that.
Oh
That's
no,
great.
tilt.
Yep. Ball save. Ball save. Okay. Are you ready for this? Yeah, cool. All right. Hi, I'm Natalie here with Marco TV, and we've got this stellar pinball machine, Motor City Taxi, made by. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, my name's Matt Benzik. I am the designer, coder, and just about everything for my homebrew Motor City Taxi.
Is this the first pin you've made?
Yes, yes. This game, I kind of had a. If you've seen the Blues Brothers, you know when Jake Blues is in the back of the church and he like sees the light, realizes he's on a mission from God. That's kind of how this machine came together as my first machine.
Okay.
I had a couple too many mimosas at a mimosa brunch, was walking home, and someone blew by me on the street,
Yeah.
blaring like some punk music, like straight from Crazy Taxi. And I
Okay.
felt like the light was shining on me that I needed to create a Crazy Taxi pinball machine.
Okay.
But then as sobriety came back, I realized Sega's had a heck of a time at pinball, and the chances of me getting a Crazy Taxi license is really small.
Sure.
So, like any open source type or avoiding copyright problems, I took Crazy Taxi out of San Francisco, put it in Detroit, and got rid of their zany characters and put Detroit musicians as the drivers, and then drove myself right into the head of another licensing problem. So, you know, because there's no way I could ever get any of these music licenses.
Right. Sure. Sure. Right. Right. Okay. So first pin. Awesome. Check. How have you made improvements, changes? I mean, how many shows have you done? Let's start there. Let's take a step back. How many shows have you done?
So first show that this game was at was Expo 2018.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So Expo 2018 was the first revision. It was basically only a whitewood, no lights, barely any voice call-outs. It had one multi-ball. Like, it was very bare bones.
Okay.
I wanted to bring it because there was a number of people bringing homebrews that were much more complete. And so to kind of show the process of like, hey, this is probably what you would build in your first iteration, because you don't want to cut inserts and do all that before you know the game shoots well, because
Right, functionality.
yeah, because inserts are expensive and
Okay.
they're hard to do. So So that was the first show I went to. I also did MGC that year, and then outside of that, I've done. I think this is my third MGC that it's been at.
Okay.
I've been to 2 or 3 expos, and then I've also been to Cincinnati with it.
Oh,
So,
okay. Cincinnati. Wow,
Yeah.
that's I love that name. It's cute. I've never been to that. Or yeah, so that's Cincinnati.
it's a fun little show.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's very cool. Okay, so I'm looking at your table, and I see some 3D printed things. It looks like, by the looks of it,
Yep.
3D printed, 3D printed, 3D printed.
Yep.
Did you 3D print these yourself?
Yeah.
Did you run 3D prints or?
Yeah, so my career is 3D printing, so
Oh.
I have a bunch of printers in my basement, and I tried to use as much off-the-shelf parts as I could, but there was a number of like feature components, like sculpts, this jump that I was just like, I'll 3D print it and see how it lasts. If it makes it through the show, awesome. If it doesn't, I learn how to iterate, which actually this bridge is the second iteration.
That was going to be my next question. Okay.
That the front edge, when it got hit by the balls, like direct head on, it started to crack, so I changed some.
What did you change on the design?
Basically, this front edge, I beveled a little bit, and then
Okay.
I also made the wall thicker, so that it
Okay.
was hard. The ball has to shear more material if it does want to break.
Okay.
And so far, it's held up. I'm not good at pinball. I brick a lot of shots, and I
Uh-huh.
haven't broken that yet bricking it. So
Okay.
we'll see how it holds up at the show. So.
Okay, very cool. And what sort of hardware have you been using on this? And I know I saw the back glass yesterday, but how do you have this laid out on the inside?
Yeah, so the control system I'm running is the multimorphic P3 rock system.
Okay, P3. Okay.
So that's it is a hardware like kind of brain that communicates to all the different boards in the machine. So you've got your input boards, your output boards, and your lighting boards.
Okay.
All of those talk to the main brain, and then the main brain talks to a computer in the machine
Okay.
to handle all of like the rules and the display and all that. So the main brain is constantly asking everything on the playfield, hey, did you get hit? Like, this switch get hit? Did this switch get hit? And it's constantly polling and then telling the computer, hey, the sling got hit. And the computer goes, well, I'm in super slings mode, so I'm going to give the player extra points. So that's the kind of the hardware layout of the machine.
Okay. And did you program all this yourself? Did you write
Yeah.
everything? And did you start from the ground up, or did you write all your own code? Did you start? I mean, do you? Oh wait, I think. Oh, there's Cincinnati. Sorry. Do I see like mission? Did I see? Do you have a mission pinball framework thing on your screen too?
So I have a flipper code, and if you type it in wrong, it'll play us out.
Yeah,
But,
I failed.
so my game is running Skeleton Game. So
Okay.
in Homebrew Pinball, there are 2 main control systems, unless you're Kelly and did it totally the hard way of writing your own framework,
Okay.
Undertale.
Yeah, Undertale, yeah.
There is Skeleton Game and Skeleton Game and Mission.
Okay.
And Skeleton Game is more like code-based, where it's built off of what are called event handlers. So, like, if, let's say, this target right here, this mover target gets hit, I have a handler or a event that says, if this target is hit, run this block of code.
Oh, if okay, sorry, yeah, I'm thinking like if else if.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And so, so as far as the like writing code for it, Skeleton Game is a lot more intensive, but it allows you much more degrees of freedom to play.
Sure.
Because there's things like, if you look at what Multimorphic's doing with the P3 platform, they have Twitch connected pinball. So when streamers play, they can connect their Twitch to the game, and you can donate bits to cause events in the game to mess with the player.
Oh, that's actually
And
really
so,
cool. Yeah.
and Twitch has a library,
Yeah.
or what's called an API, to allow programmers to interface with their ecosystem. And so with Skeleton Game, because it's more it's more code based, I can import the Twitch library. I can import a Discord library and go like.
Right. With this, are you because of key? Wait, I'm just
Because
trying to
of
follow.
Skeleton
Because
Game.
of Skeleton Game.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
okay.
now with Mission, you can do that. It's just a little bit. It's not. You have to basically do the same amount of work with a little. It's just a little bit different in how Mission handles that sort of stuff. You can still do custom scripting,
Yeah.
but Mission is like a platform that it is much faster to get a game together because it's built to assist non-coders, whereas Skeleton is written by a bunch of coders that like it's built to be like that because that's what the people that built it do. So
Yeah. Okay.
so like games like TNA, Rick and Morty, though I think even Alice Cooper Nightmare Castle, those are all skeleton game based games.
Okay.
And as far as like a starting off point, they have some demo code
Sure.
that basically I gutted everything I didn't need out of that code and then rewrote whatever. So
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. That's really cool. Okay. Let me ask a couple of table rules. Can I play a game?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you mind like walking me through it while I play? Because I see that maybe there was writing, but it's kind of I see Newver People Detroit.
yeah, so yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right, so let me give you the kind of like quick overview of the game.
You want to
So,
you don't
awesome. So right here we have Detroit People Mover.
Okay.
In Detroit, we have this great public transit system called the Detroit People Mover.
Okay.
It is an above-ground monorail that only goes in one direction around the city.
Okay.
That's the Detroit People Mover. You complete that free bank to light your next station.
Okay.
Right here, you've got 3 green lights. That's the Woodward Dream Cruise multi-ball.
Okay.
Complete those 3, lock the ball 3 times in the scoop, and you'll get a multi-ball.
All right. My goal is to try and get multi-ball. All right.
Awesome.
Keep going.
So right now, see all these red lights all through here? These are all your locations.
Okay.
We're a taxi game. We got to pick people up and drop them off around Detroit.
Okay.
So the first 6 modes are unlocked by the spinner.
Okay.
So you're going to hit the spinner 6 times, and then
Okay.
you'll notice that 8 of these lights are going to turn green, that they're ready to be played.
Okay. Okay.
So if you want to plunge, let's get at it.
Sure do. Oh, is there a skill con?
Center.
Fantastic. Cool.
Yep.
You have a ball
And
save.
ball save, so we should be good.
Thank you for being forgiving.
It needs a little bit of help. Yeah, you'll just have to plunge it. So these centers right here, those spell out Detroit.
Okay.
Above it, there's a sculpt that is the Spirit of Detroit statue.
Okay.
If you complete all 7 letters, you unlock Mystery, which is worth 1,000,000 points, and can also unlock some secret levels. So you're on warning 1, just so you know. I don't have an audio call out.
Thank you.
And then, so this right here is themed after the Ambassador Bridge, which is one of the ways to get to Canada from Detroit. So,
Okay.
The idea of this game, being my first game, was I
What
wanted to
made you
keep
pick
it simple.
Detroit? Yeah, what made you pick Detroit?
I live in the Metro Detroit area.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you got ball 1 locked. So now you could select a fare. So use your right flipper and you can scroll through. Let's hit once. So we can select the Fox Theater by hitting both flippers.
Okay.
So hit those both.
That's real.
And now it's going to fire the ball out and we have to complete the drop target back.
Okay.
So they'll
So
clear
what is
out.
that? Yeah, okay.
But now you see the Fox Theater up there is now complete.
Ah, okay.
And so before we plunge,
Yeah.
if you look, see how they're kind of in rows together?
Yeah.
So what that is each of these squares is a mini wizard mode,
Okay.
and each of the inserts following it are locations related to that wizard mode. So like up here is all your venues, like places you can go see a show in Detroit. So you've got like the Fox Theater, the Masonic Temple, and then once you complete all these 3, then this insert will start flashing that you can do like a multi-ball. Once you complete all 6, then the center will light up, and then that'll be like your ultimate wizard
mode. Okay,
so,
cool. All right, I'll try and get the skill.
The worst part about programming a wizard mode is I'll probably never actually get to it because I'm just bad at pinball.
Is wizard mode like a really hard thing to code for? Is that really like a big deal, or it's just like you're so close to finishing, but you just are like, I mean.
So, I only have the 6 green lights that are flashing right now. Those are the only modes or locations that are programmed. Because I'm not a programmer by any means.
Really?
I
do 3D printing. So
I'm a mechanical engineer.
Oh, okay.
So if you heard it said mystery unlocked, hit the left scoop, that's because you completed your Detroit targets, which you can see up here. Spirit of Detroit, now they're all black.
Oh,
and see how they're lit up blue now? So now you've got your mystery. So now you got 1,000,000 points. Ball 2.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we'll do a skip fair, and we're going to unlock the multi-ball.
How do I skip fair?
So skip fair, we're going to hold both buttons to return to the playfield. So just hit both.
These buttons?
Yep.
Okay.
Now you've got your ball back.
Cool.
So if you post pass to your right flipper, you'll be able to.
Crap.
Yeah.
But I did do the post pass successfully.
Ball 3, and you might have to help it plunge because.
That's cool.
And then hit both flippers. There we go.
And now, what do I want to do?
So right now it's hit the orbits, but I basically only got programmed get it into multi-ball and then figure out everything else later.
Okay.
And we'll have to give it a little nudge. Oh, damn.
What a bummer. But I did get that was my goal, to achieve the objective that I wanted to achieve, so that's pretty exciting. I had another question too that I thought of while I was playing. Artwork. How did you do this?
So I stole this background from an artist, Mario Zucca. He does a bunch of like city-based artwork, and like a true hack, I didn't ask permission before using it.
Sure.
So I just use that as a placeholder for now. All of the HUD and like the different displays that like so right now you can see that you've got 5 green modes open, 0, 0, 0. So that's
1, 2, 3, 4. These 5 green lights.
and then you had finished this one. So before you were at 6. So this is what tells you how many locations you have unlocked while you're playing. And then as I get further in the code, I'll have it do call outs like, hey taxi, hurry up, shoot the left scoop. Come on, like, let's go. But I've barely gotten the music player to work, so getting all that. And there's 4 drivers in the game, so we're playing on the Aretha Franklin driver, which plays a lot of Motown. So we have this song, and then Respect and Sing, and then we also have Grizz, who's very popular in the EDM world, and also from Detroit. Lizzo was from Detroit as well. So we have her in there, and then Bob Seger. I'll probably add more. I've heard Jack White is actually a huge pinhead.
Oh my gosh!
So I want to. Originally, I was like, oh, there's no way I would be able to put Jack White in a game, and like if I were to ever get this close to being a thing, there's no way I would get that license. And someone's like, yeah, Jack White's a huge pinhead, and I'm like, all right, I guess we're adjusting some code now.
I think that's awesome. That's so cool. Awesome.
Sweet. So if you look, your green lights are flashing again. So that means you can. So you don't have a lock open, but you can re-enable your lock.
Okay. And then you told me earlier.
So,
I can't remember.
So this guy right here.
Oh wait. Yeah, that one.
So that means you completed that location. Whether you succeeded in completing the drop bank and then hitting the left scoop or just drain out, like that one's complete now.
Where should I be shooting right now? What would
So
you suggest?
so you have modes unlocked. So I would say shoot the left scoop
Okay.
at your earliest convenience.
You got it. And too late on all three. That was really cool. I really like the music that plays along with it. It's hard for me to kind of not just want to be like, all right.
So one of one of my design goals for the and it moves incredibly slow, so it'll take like 2 minutes for us to actually get your name entered.
Yeah, no problem. I got all the time in the world for my initials.
With this game is I wanted it to be what I call a KISS game of keep it simple stupid.
Keep it simple stupid. Yeah.
That's why it's a single level playfield. There's no crazy ramps or jump, everything's pretty simple. I didn't want to design anything mechanically or draw up anything that I couldn't actually design in CAD. I didn't want to design anything in CAD that I couldn't actually write code for. And so I was like, I want to keep it simple, make it fast, fun, and that anyone can come up and play it. So as far as a Stern reference, I would say I want my game to be as close to Deadpool as I can get it. Because Deadpool is a game. Anyone can walk up to it and have fun. I have an Iron Maiden. I have my mom play my Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
She has no idea what's happening.
Sure.
You have to hit the 5 eddies, and then you can hit the, she's angry that I just said that she has no idea what's happening. So,
how many characters do your initials take?
any. You can add as many as you want.
How do I end it?
Go to the equal sign.
Oh, thanks.
So like Iron Maiden, you have to hit the 5 eddies and then hit the jump to start that mode that's lit up down here. It's a player's game. It's a tournament player's game, and it is a fantastic game, but not everyone knows how to play it. Whereas Deadpool, you just sit there and double flipper and get the cool call-outs, and you feel fantastic.
Right.
You get mini Deadpool multi-ball with very little effort, and that's actually one of the things, my first game that I ever bought was Space Shuttle, which has a very super easy multi-ball. The locks are always open, hit one, hit the other, and then straight up 3-ball multi-ball. And so I was like, I want that in my game, that you have to just hit 3 targets, hit the scoop 3 times, so that any player can at least get 1 multi-ball while they play.
I think that's a really nice incentive to keep people wanting to play if they don't know what's going on. I like that. That's really cool.
And that was also part of the musical choices. I like EDM and rap and rock, but that's not everyone's taste.
Right,
so
sure.
I wanted to bring it so anyone could walk up to this game and go, "Oh, Aretha Franklin, awesome! I'll jam to Motown." Or some little kid Zoomer wants to listen to EDM. They're like, "Oh, Chris, he's not my favorite, but it's better than Bob Seger." And but I'm jamming to Bob Seger to the point where I'm getting tired of it because it plays the same 3 songs over and over again. But yeah. But
any changes you plan on making to this table in the future? Well, possibly, maybe the music.
So if you notice, there's some features that are just sitting. Specifically, back in this corner here.
Yeah.
Notice how there's that flap that's
do.
just sitting there?
Yep, sure do.
So there is actually a hidden scoop under this plastic.
I can see it.
So right here is basically another pathway for the ball to go.
Okay.
For each of the locations, you have to start them on this scoop.
Okay.
But I wanted to be able to end the ball in different places so that it wasn't all it doesn't feel like a Bride of Pinbot where it's one shot to get points and you just keep hitting that shot.
Sure.
I wanted different places for the ball to end. The other feature that will get added is there's a trap door in here.
Okay, yeah.
So most trap doors in pinball open up vertically,
Okay, yeah.
which take a lot of room under the playfield because it's a large mech.
Yeah.
I custom designed a rotating trapdoor that's driven by a stepper motor that can open up and just open up a huge hole in the playfield without taking a bunch of room in my on the underside.
That's really cool. That's a really smart design. I like that.
The last like innovative feature I have is, so this scoop has a custom mechanism attached to it that it's an open back scoop. We'll have Kyle overlay what part number that would be from Marco. But so it's an open back scoop that I took a Williams auto fire mech and put it at a 45 and drilled a hole through the mech so that it can fire the ball out the back of the scoop and into a subway. So there's actually a subway that runs from here through the pop garden and here. So
Oh my god, they're not gonna expect that sneaky surprise.
exactly. So this trapdoor, you can see how this is aimed. If you didn't know that was a trapdoor, it's just like, oh, you're just firing at a rubber. Well, now this shot, it can supply the pop garden, or it can hit the trapdoor to end a mode. And then for higher level modes, like this one, that unless I have the drop target up, this is always open and attainable. This scoop, however, you can only hit when I want you to hit it.
Right.
So for a higher level mode that for more powerful players, I might only pulse that diverter every 5 seconds for a second. And so you
it's
might
like a
have
moving shot.
Yeah, you have 10 seconds to finish the mode. And if that thing closes for 5 seconds and you miss the next one, you're not completing the mode, and you're you're not getting that extra bonus. So it's trying to keep it simple, but basically this whole update came from Expo 2018, I think. Basically, I had Roger Sharp and Dennis Nordman play the game, and Roger was like, I have no reason to shoot your pops. He's like, there's nothing there. The ball gets stuck there. It stops the flow. I don't like it. You have to do something different. Like, have it come out this way. And I'm like, Roger, I know you're really good at pinball, but physically, I can't get a ball through a wall. Physics, it just doesn't work like that, you know? So then Dennis Nordman was like, you left space here. That is a cardinal sin. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You have to put something there so that sales, whatever you want to put there, make it twice as big as it needs to be, because sales will tell you can only do half that and you still get the feature you want. Which I think Elwin and all them talked about on the Godzilla, that they made that drawbridge mech. They're like, oh, sales is totally going to take this out. There's no way we're getting it in. And then they're like, oh, we love it, do it. I'm like, oh, crap. All right. So those are some features that I'll be adding. I'll be putting a couple sculpts, and then hopefully Expo this year I'll have new back glass art. So I'll actually have I have an artist that's going to be doing my back glass, and it'll only be a mock-up, just to make sure that what my vision is and what his vision are the same before we try to cover the whole playfield. Plus, my playfield might change a little bit. So
designing, add-ons, so that's really cool.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. See what he comes up with. He's been in the pinball community a little while, but done art for a couple machines across the pond, and I think this will be his first U.S. pinball machine, so I'm super excited.
Awesome. I can't wait to follow up and see at the Pinball Expo and see how that artwork looks, and
Sweet.
Get to see how it's transitioned. It's really cool that you designed add-ons. I don't know if people typically do that, but I like how you have that covered with the rubber bands. That's really smart. I don't know if that's a typical thing, but that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, so this up here, basically after Expo 2019 or whatever year, this whole upper section got completely redesigned. This is playfield V5 at this point, and every time I start from scratch. Because it's just faster, because I'm a mechanical engineer by trade and training, but my CAD skills are not that great. So it's I liken it to someone doing Photoshop and not using layers. That's kind of how this has come together, and which is a terrible way to model, because you mess with one thing and all of a sudden like I'll move this target, and for some reason, this wall was spaced off of that target, and it'll freak out and put the wall like way out here. And it's just like, oh, geez, we're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, it's a work in progress, and I don't know if I'll have this playfield in it for Expo or something newer. It just depends
Cool.
on
Yeah.
what happens, because work is crazy.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. Yeah. Fair. Fair call. I mean, it's playable. I had a good time. I learned a lot, so I can't wait to, build off of that. This is awesome. This is great. It's a really unique machine, and it's a simple design, but I love it. Like, it's more than just a simple design. It's clean, and yeah, like you said, different player types can play. So this is a good segue game for beginners.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yep. So thank you so much for walking me through this. I can't wait to see you at Pinball Expo again. And thank you for your time. Much appreciated.
problem.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Good. Yeah, do you like the laser
Yeah,
pointer
that's
feature?
been.
All right, y'all. That was another amazing interview. This was with Matt Benzik from Motor City Taxi. Joel, I blame you. I hope they asked how Matt cut his plastic. Sorry about that. But
I have the dead
next
flip,
time you see me, you just have to
the
ask.
dead flipper code in
We're
here.
gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna move over to the next pin. We'll see who's here. We still have Castlevania to look at. Dumpster fire. This beer pouring pinball machine. Ed Owens is Ghost in the Shell. And I think one more. It's a lot of homebrew games here. Midwest Gaming Classic really knows where it's at. So, thank you, Matt.
No problem.
All right. We will see you guys soon. And just a quick setup change.
I'm
Oh,
in the band
hey, Ed. We're going to interview you soon, but not yet. So don't come over here. Stay over there. Over there. All right, y'all. I'll give you some ambient sound.
Do you need help moving stuff?
Yeah. I don't know who we're going to go to first.
What?
Prepare your Hello Kitty out.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's great. I'm just going to push it to the side for a second and then find out who the next person is.
I think I'm trying to think where.
Like sliding this table around.
No, it's smart, and having the circle layout, it makes it.
I lost my black.
Oh yeah, let's go check those out. Good job. Moto, let me know if you need anything after.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Oh, did I get unplugged?
Oh, I unplugged you because I just didn't want anything to get messed up.
Yeah.
So, all right, as long as it's like what you're looking for, I'm happy. That's all I can ask.
It's amazing.
Have to go grab my
are back. We are going to move the rig over and find out who our next interviewee is. Give us a second. Okay. Do you know who the beer guy is?
I'm right here.
There he is. That's here. Wow.
Yeah. I set a time. I said 3 o'clock. I set a time for 3 o'clock.
Perfect. Thank you.
Right there. He does the Dracula game.
Okay. Oh, wait.
I'm sorry. Castlevania. Right after I said it.
We also had to talk. We need to make sure. Cool. Awesome. Oh,
Yeah, she's
okay. A view of the trash. Yeah.
next to the mall, Sheridan.
Sheridan, yeah.
They started there, then they went to the Olympic School.
Okay.
I went there 2 years. And then they went to Sheridan again.
Oh, okay.
And then they came here.
And they've been here almost ever since. Can you unplug us? And then yeah. Yep, right there is good. right, y'all, we're almost ready. We are going to be looking at Tap Open, the Trilogy Brewing Company. Y'all are going to flip out when you see this. Oh, yeah. Hold on 1 second. I just threw them on the charger for a little bit.
You learn how to do these things not like that.
Yeah, I'll take this one. Shell shock, potato salad. Would be amazing if that tack really works. I know, we'll talk more about that. I was wondering too. Instead of an extra credit, can you earn a drink? I will find out. Let me, just 1 second. Hold on, I'm just trying to get their microphones up and running. Am I on? I'm on here. Make sure their mics are on. Maybe I have to delete it and bring it back in. How's everybody doing in the chat? Thanks for hanging out with us today. It's a wonderful Saturday. We're having a lot of fun. Come on, why is this working? It's weird. Why? High five, Doug. Hold on. I know. It's not. They're just hanging out, waiting for me to get my stuff together. Oh, haha. Do you hear them now?
I have so many questions I want to ask
I
you,
gotta
but
turn
I'm waiting
audio
until we're good
monitor
because
on.
it's
I
like
think you guys can hear
you
them.
know, like I mean, I really want to know these things. So I'm like, oh, but these are good questions to
My
ask you.
dang,
So.
my advanced audio thing will pop up.
How excited do you get watching people play your game? Is it like really rewarding?
It's a little bit nerve-wracking too. We're hoping it doesn't like break down in the middle of
Hey.
like somebody playing. You know, you want it to last the whole show. So
How do I get that screen to pop up without?
So it's an easy fix to just take it away, but you know, I'd like it to work fully. It was really fun when I can dispense beer in it. I like watching people win the beers. That is fun.
Wait, so if you get like a replay, do you get the beer, or how do you win the beer?
Okay, so the beer is you can use the coin door setting.
Yeah, I know. We can only hear them a little.
Set what level
I need to
you
raise
get
them
the extra
up.
ball at. So when you earn an extra ball,
It's just not coming up.
but it's after you play that extra ball, and after it counts your bonus.
I might have to stop the stream and restart it. So give me a second, y'all. Stay on our channel. Sorry.